Yeah, what's in the fucking box? Welcome everybody to Red Smoke. Welcome again. It's it's not even been like 24 hours since the last stream, but yeah, a commitment, guys, commitment. And we're gonna ask the questions what's in the fucking box today, and we're gonna find it out. Alex, I gotta say, I'm so fucking surprised that when you were proposing this movie to me, it's been one of those. I know we had like Shawshank 2 episodes ago, and this was the we agree on that. This was like the greatest surprise that you haven't seen it before. I watched Seven before, but the thing that surprises me is that I haven't even. I wasn't even thinking about bringing this movie up for a potential episode, and now we're doing it, and I'm asking myself why. And so my first question to you is, what was it that made you ask me, hey, let's do Seven on Red Smoke?
Well, first of all, because I watched it for the first time again a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months. I'm not quite sure. It's not really been a while, but
Right.
it wasn't like very recent. Um, and for some reason, I actually don't know why it popped up in my mind. I think I was seeing something. Um, I think it was something about gluttony. I read somewhere about it, and then I made this connection in my mind. Oh wait, there was Seven, right? About these things, and then I thought, oh, hold on, maybe we could talk about this because, as I mentioned when I proposed this to you on WhatsApp, I said that I think this is still true these days, even though the movie is now like quite old, from 1995.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that there is some guy killing people for the seven cardinal sins, but the seven cardinal sins are still a thing, I would say, these days.
So in terms of like, because you have this. I'm not gonna skip through like forward now in the plot, but we all know like the twist in the end.
Yes.
And where he's like having this conversation with the two detectives, John Doe. He's having these two conversations, and it's like one of those moments where you have to admit, and Brad Pitt does this actually. Like he actually says this quote. Well, you know that you are insane, right? And we as the audience, we know this as well. This guy is insane, but he's not wrong.
Yes.
Even though that's subjective. I mean, he has this really nice quote. You were mentioning this gluttony thing. And that's actually the first thing that comes to my mind as well, because we have like 7 really, really deadly situations, like really deadly situations, like ugly situations. And the first one, and the most horrific, terrifying one for me, is actually the first one. It's gluttony. It's where this guy is being forced to eat himself to death, which is
Yes.
just think. I put it on the tweet. This movie might be too much for a few people, and I still stand with that, man. It's a movie that makes me feel genuinely uncomfortable, which
Oh,
means
yes.
which means great work from David Fincher there. But yeah, it's interesting that when you think about Seven, you think about this gluttony aspect, and as for me, it's the same. Uh, when you say like, okay, there's like a connection to real life right now, I believe I know what you're trying to say, but explain to me what you mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is not like people eating themselves to death, like literally. But I think I would say it's also metaphorically true because many people actually do that, but they don't know it. By which I mean, you see, the things we eat these days, like the highly processed, high sugary food, they slowly kill us, right?
Right.
Not that slowly actually, but they do kill us all the time. More than if you would eat proper stuff.
Yeah. True.
And also this isn't necessarily gluttony because the gluttony here really is that we eat more than we actually need, like way more. Most people, I should say. And I mean, if you look at the obesity rates, then this is very obvious, right? And this is where I meant that it's still true these days. Now people aren't forced to eat themselves to death or to eat so much that they cannot operate properly anymore. But it's indirectly done through addiction, like with sugar, for example. And you know quite well that when people eat sugary stuff, they have these cravings to eat more of it. I mean, it just keeps coming because it's an addiction.
It's a class A
So
addiction. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's actually a class A drug. I do believe so as well. And I mean, we know that this is sort of done intentional. I mean, this is my tinfoil hat again, but I would say we know that these days that it's intentional because obviously you can make a lot of money with that.
Right.
Like with selling food itself for as cheap as possible, and also B, with unhealthy people. I mean, this is how you make money, right? So, yeah, but to bring it back to your original point with John Doe there, that he is sort of right, even though he's insane. Yeah, that's actually. I mean, Kevin Spacey had his fair share of issues, I would say, but this was a very, very well acted scene, in my opinion, or very well played.
They were all killing it at the end. It was super crazy. Like many people on YouTube in the comments say, this is cinema history there, and it is. It fucking is. Like everybody of those three, they were acting their asses off at the last 5 minutes. This was. Excellent stuff.
It was truly fantastic.
I'm gonna read it out loud now, just for the sake of context, and then we can do it because on IMDb there's this quote right now popping up. Brad Pitt's character asking him, "Hey, wait, I thought all you did was kill innocent people," and then Kevin Spacey replies, "Innocent? Is that supposed to be funny? An obese man, a disgusting man who could barely stand up, a man who, if you saw him on the street, you'd point him out to your friends so that they could join you in mocking him, a man who, if you saw him while you were eating, you wouldn't be able to finish your meal. And after him, I picked a lawyer, and I know you both must have been secretly thanking me for that one. This is a man who dedicated his life to making money by lying with every breath that he could muster to keeping murderers and rapists on the street." I'm gonna stop right there because there's a lot of stuff. There's like no way any person like in Hollywood or any screenwriter could have those words saying by anyone else than like the villain.
Oh yeah,
it's like perfectly disguised, because like you can have like a complete insane person saying it. If it was Morgan Freeman's character, you'd be like, oh okay, but having an insane person saying something, I don't want to say true, but I also don't want to say he's wrong, right? It's like what's going on in your head when you were listening again to what I just said, like this little monologue of John Doe. What is going on in your head? It was like, yeah, fuck hell, you're right, or it makes you think about something.
Yeah, the first thing actually was quite funny because I thought this movie couldn't have been done these days.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yes.
I agree, absolutely.
Because these lines, he's.
No, not because of the lines, because of Kevin Spacey.
Yes, also this. That's very true. Also because of him, yeah, but also the lines.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, you couldn't say this these days in Hollywood, and I think the reason you couldn't say that these days is because they're true. Yeah. I would say so. Now, obviously, they are put in a very triggering manner, to use that word intentionally there. Like, they are intentionally put very bluntly, without care for anyone's feelings about it. But technically, the underlying notion is right, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, if you think, for example, about the gluttony guy, if you see a person who is that morbidly obese on the street, it's like you have your thoughts. Maybe you don't bring your friends around to mock him, of course, but you have your thoughts about this person. Sure, think, what the hell is going on there? So, yeah, I mean, is that worth it to kill him? I mean, obviously not. But but this insane character here obviously goes that far to make a point. But yeah, is he innocent? That's a good question, because I personally think he, and many people do this, sort of, how do I phrase this without getting banned on YouTube?
Dude, we are already past that point. I don't think this podcast is gonna last for the next years. It's gonna, sooner or later they're gonna fuck us up, man. So just keep going, man.
Yeah, I mean, he I think personally, when we are born as humans on this planet, we have a sort of contract to take care of this vehicle we drive, our flesh vehicle, and I mean, there are many factors that play into this that most people just don't know better due to how we are raised. So we don't know we should take care of it. But this man, if he's so morbidly obese, I think he completely voided that contract and thus has deserved some sort of punishment for it. I would say that. Although, you could say that the fact that everyone is already like looking at him and judging him is already some sort of punishment. Obviously, he doesn't need to be killed, but yeah,
Interesting take there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the conversation goes on. It's like it's already the weirdest stream. We kick off the stream. We dissect the ending scene. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes.
But anyways, the last thing John Doe said was, "This is a man who dedicated his life." He's talking about the lawyer, to making money by lying with every breath that he could muster, keeping murderers and rapists on the street. And then Brad Pitt goes, "Murderers," and then John Doe, "A woman," and then Brad Pitt again, "Murderers, John, like yourself." Then John Doe interrupts again. He said, "A woman so ugly on the inside she couldn't bear to go on living if she couldn't be beautiful on the outside. A drug dealer, a drug-dealing pederast, actually. Let's not forget the disease-spreading whore. Only in a world this shitty could you even try to say these were innocent people and keep a straight face." I'm going to stop right here. I believe this is what you were trying to say earlier, right?
With what exactly?
Given this little sentence here, only in a world this shitty could you even try to say that these were innocent people and keep a straight face. I believe this is kind of what you meant, right?
Yes, exactly. This was actually the thought process I had when the movie was over. Again, this is also a reason why I like this movie. As you know, every time I go deep into my thoughts after a movie, I know it's a good one. And it was the case with this one, where I thought, yeah, I mean, if you look at the world and that some things are just normal these days, which shouldn't be, like, for example, the complete overeating bullshit, just bring an example here, which absolutely shouldn't be the norm, A, because half of the world is still starving, and B, you don't need to eat so much. Actually, it's bad for you. And all these kind of things, you know. So, yeah, I sort of do agree with the insane villain when he says that these people aren't really innocent because we live, but they don't know better, because we live in a world where these negative things have been sort of designated to be okay. Or we could also say, like, the boundaries have been pushed for decades now, always a little bit, so it became okay when it wasn't back in the days, you know. So maybe that's just I wouldn't say a natural evolution, but maybe it's just an evolution of bad things in our life. I don't know. But yeah, he's sort of right. Are these people truly innocent for what they do? And how do you judge it? And who judges it, right?
I mean, we can all agree that, like, this whole... I mean, you can talk about everything you like. Obviously, it is wrong to go on a rampage, like killing people, like, in this kind of crazy ass way. But the question we should be allowed to ask is, if he's right, and by right I mean like his philosophy, you know?
Yes.
Because this movie, like, when this movie ends and the end credits roll, you're like, like mind fucked. I would say this is the perfect way to describe it. My brain feels a little bit like pudding at the end. It's really. I'm gonna read the quote out until the end, and then we can talk about it further.
Can I just chime in there? Because you said at the end your mind was like pudding. Yeah. That's because it virtually questions our whole existence in the society, right? That's pretty much what the movie does. And especially because the 7 cardinal sins pretty much cover everything we do in, like, everyday life, I would say, mostly. So it virtually brings you from the order you consider the regular world to be normal into chaos, right? Because everything is questioned, like everything, literally. Not just eating habits, also your basic health and even sexuality, law and what's right, justice is questioned completely. I mean, these kind of things. So, yeah, this was also the thoughts I had at the end. It's like, okay, this movie just literally questioned the whole society at once.
In a very clever way, I gotta say.
Yes.
Very, very clever. It rarely happens that the bad guy wins at the end, and when it does, it's mostly like it leaves you almost
spoiler.
Yeah, whatever, man, whatever. And I believe this is what gets us banned, you know? Not like us talking about Hitler and, like, all those other things. No, we do too many spoilers. Like, people are gonna ban us from YouTube.
Yes.
But yeah, this is... I mean, it rarely happens that the bad guy wins at the end, and you feel that shitty about it. You feel that
Yes.
empty about it because sometimes it's like the bad guy who wins at the end, but it's like some kind of anti-hero. You're like, yeah, he kind of deserves it, you know. You kind of root for him, but it's interesting. It's like it's a homicide detective story, and the only on-screen kill you see is from a policeman. It's absolutely insane. This movie is a gift, really. This movie is a gift.
That was truly sorry for interrupting.
No, I'm finished.
Yeah, the greatest thing was in the end then how the Cardinals in Wrath was unfolding, because that's pretty much the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
And as you said, the only policeman killing him there, and it was so well set up by John Doe. Like he's truly an evil genius, you could say, because that's not easy to pull this off. I would say.
Sure.
But that was, it was disappointing to have, what's his name, Mills, right?
Yeah.
To have him kill him, but you could sort of understand it, but also you knew it was wrong because then he wins, you know. This was
I mean, the climax is fucked up, anyways. I think it would be even more fucked up if Mills wouldn't have killed him. There's also like this alternative ending. I read it like in the script once that actually, I don't know what Morgan Freeman's character is. What is his name? Somerset, right? That Somerset would have killed him before Mills had the chance, but that wouldn't. I don't know if that would feel better.
I think that would be weird because I think it's out of character for Somerset.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't really stop the villain from winning there because it's still Raph that made it happen, even though it wasn't Mills who killed him.
Yeah, it's.
But he was the one, indulging it. Then.
Tough one. It's. I mean, the beauty about this whole story is also the way they like bounce off of each other. You have like this rookie character. Played by Brad Pitt, who's like very positive about everything. It's like, that's just an insane guy. He's fucking insane. And Morgan Freeman, like the old guy, the veteran. He knows what's going on, and he's like, no, never underestimate anyone. Don't call those guys insane and all this stuff. Who has a very pessimistic worldview. So that's why I think it wouldn't work out at the end, because the beautiful thing is that the positively thinking guy broke at the end, you know.
Yes.
And also Morgan and the beautiful thing is that I still couldn't make like any sense of the last words that Morgan Freeman said in the movie, because this is what really fucks me up even more. I have like this Ernest Hemingway quote. He says like the world is a beautiful place and it's worth fighting for, and he says like, yeah, I agree with the second part, stuff like that, and then the movie ends. And like, what the fuck is going on?
I guess he was. I think he meant that calling it a fine or beautiful place, I don't know the exact word, is debatable because people like John Doe exist, but it's still worth fighting for, regardless of like how it unfolds or how people are. Which I personally would agree with, because in the beginning of this very stream, I was like, talking a lot of shit about society and thus the people in it. But regardless of what we all do, I still think that people are great. And they just need a bit more guidance, in my opinion, what to do with their life. You know, they just need to join Self-Conquering and get it up.
Absolutely, guys. Join Self-Conquering. Also, like, if you join Self-Conquering now, you get like NordVPN for free for 20 years. Just do it now.
I should do that, man, because everyone does it, right?
Dude, I'm waiting for your first affiliate stuff, man. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna.
What's the other one? Oh, Skillshare, right?
Skillshare, and a Squarespace.
Oh, right.
Let me think about it. I think that's it. Yeah. You could always do some kind of protein power. Like stuff that always works as well. I'm waiting for your first affiliate stuff because I'm gonna mock you on air for that. You'll be fine, man.
That's great.
Yeah, and to end this whole ending scene, completely all over the place. Again, I'm gonna kick off again with what John Doe said earlier. He said, "Only in a world this shitty could you even try to say these were innocent people and keep a straight face. But that's the point. We see a deadly sin on every street corner in every home, and we tolerate it." See, that's where I think we kind of get a little bit alienated from what John Doe said. The first thing he said, like the first kind of paragraph, yeah, you could kind of agree on. But here's where we get alienated, because he said it's a deadly sin. And that's the question, is it like a deadly sin? You know? And
I mean, for him it is, because that's why he kills them.
Yeah. Is it
cardinal sin, right?
Is it one for you?
No, absolutely not. Because again, I don't think people should be like killed or whatever because of what they do. And as I mentioned before, maybe just like what they get out of what they do. Like if you also talk about the lust thing, and these prostitutes, for example, they also have a very bad stance in society. Even though this changed also a little bit these days, right? But still, it's sort of, regardless of like leftists talking on Twitter, most people still look different at them, much like very obese people. Yeah. So maybe that is already enough punishment, quote unquote. But I think those are cardinal sins for a reason. Because now I think, you see, let's just talk very quickly about obviously Christianity, because it's a big thing in this movie. I always said that I don't care really much about what deity you believe in. I just think that religion just gives you great virtues and morals to follow. And obviously you shouldn't become fanatic because of it, because like that's stupid and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But these are just, in my opinion, guidelines that help you to have a better life. This is why I think these sins are not deadly sins, they are cardinal sins. Like if you do something really bad in this situation, for example, completely ruining your body you were given on this planet, to do something with it, then you get your punishment. It could either be, if you believe in it, that you end up in hell, or you just are in hell on earth already, because like no woman is really interested in you if you're morbidly obese. Most people look at you weird. You know, maybe this is already the hell on earth. So maybe you don't even need to do anything for these people.
Yeah, I see.
That's where I would say I would disagree with John Doe there. I don't think these are deadly sins, because it's sort of implied already that it doesn't really work out if you indulge in these.
Yeah, it's a very twisted and like almost hypocritical way of seeing moral things. Like I said, you can't help but see, that's because he doesn't judge people. He says at the beginning, an obese man, a disgusting man who could barely stand up. Like a man, if you saw him on the street, you point him out to your friends so that they could join you in mocking him. A man, if you saw him while you were eating, you wouldn't be able to finish your meal. Again, I'm not saying like this is a deadly sin, but I'm saying he is right, you know? And I'm also saying this is not the natural way people should look like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's
it's also because it's not like we just decided that to be for some people. We know that this is true, like even through science, because we know that the body cannot really deal with this kind of weight over long periods of time. So we know that, or we know which version of the human body is the one that works better and what it was designed for. You don't need to be like super fit or thin. That's absolutely not necessary. But you need to look like a regular, like healthy human, right? That's what you should do. And yeah, so again, he is right in what he says, but obviously his actions are then. But then again, I think he mostly does it to make a point, to send a message, like a Joker, you know.
We live in a society, man.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we have to do Suicide Squad 1 somewhere in the future. Okay. I want to do this. I want us to feel pain. So
I was going to say that would be painful, but okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. It's it's hard. So,
this is also where I usually say that, which is when people look weird at me when I say that the world right now could need more religion. Then people be like, "Dude, what's wrong with you? We just want to control people." Yeah, I know religion has been used to control people in the past, and I know there have been bad things like the Crusades. I'm fully aware of all this. I'm not saying that people should become fanatic religious people. Right. and I don't even care which deity you choose or which religion. I just think people should use this as some sort of instructionary guideline to what works for like a happy life or a healthy life, I should say. Now, it might not even work for anyone, but I think most people would get a great deal of positivity out of it, in my opinion.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit like, look, talking about this movie almost makes me feel like at the end of the movie where I'm like really speechless. It's a lot of thoughts are running through my head. It's also like what John Doe says there at the end, because before that we have just like a very regular kind of detective story. Nothing is regular about this movie, but you get what I'm saying. We get to the meat at the very end. We get to the philosophy, the complexity at the end. And I gotta say, what John Doe there says at the end, his little monologue. Have you ever seen something like this in any other movie? Have you read and have you listened to that kind of monologue ever before?
No, I don't think so. And this was also the crazy part for me there, or also the positive part, which I like, because they actually had the balls to make these monologues into this movie. As we said before, you couldn't do this movie these days. And I think even back then it was still shocking for many people to hear it. Not just him saying that, but also, as both of us do, sort of agreeing with it, but feeling bad about it. Like, he's right, but dude, I cannot say that. It's sort of this feeling, But yeah, even how, not just how it is conveyed, how Kevin Spacey completely kills the scene, but also how the words are used, there. Like when he says, only in a shitty society like this can you say this with a straight face, just lines like this just made it so great, but also very, very powerful and heavy.
And it gets more interesting at the very end. I'm gonna skip back a little bit again so we have context. He says what you just said. Only in the shitty world like this you could even try to say these were innocent people and keep a straight face. And then he proceeds to say, but that's the point. We see a deadly sin on every street corner. Okay, we can debate whether this is a deadly sin.
Yeah.
We can see a deadly sin on every street corner in every home, and we tolerate it. We tolerate it because it's common, it's trivial. That's where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is fucking ahead of its time, man.
It is.
Like the word tolerance and how everybody's talking about tolerance these days, right? And we tolerate almost everything, except maybe pedophilia, but that's gonna come soon as well, right? So it's like, well, I'm making jokes here, of course. I'm making like tasteless jokes, but I think you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but with the video clips I've seen on social media, I don't know if this is a joke, but yeah. It's like it's crazy sometimes. But anyway, sure. Yes, I do agree. You sort of, I do think that like blanket tolerance for everything is actually a road to hell. I do think so, because not everything should be tolerated. Some things are like forbidden for a reason or should not be done for a reason. This is exactly what the cardinal sins are, for example, right? They are not to punish people. They are designed to keep people out of their misery in their own life. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about the gluttony guy, does he really feel great? I know that people always, like the body positivity guys, always say they feel great in their body, but to this day, I still don't believe that.
I gotta be honest. Like when I would like be in the shower and I hop out and I get myself like dry, and then I look down on my body, and if I cannot see my penis, under my belly, then I don't think I would feel good about it, and like, okay, everybody should do what's best for them, and if they are happy this way, more power to them. But I cannot see myself genuinely looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I like the way I am.
And this is the point. If these people would actually truly be happy about it, I would say, okay, fine, then so be it. But I just don't believe that. Yeah. And obviously, I cannot know this because I'm not in their head. But I just, with all the negative things you get from that, and No, I wasn't this kind of fat in the past, but or obese or whatever. But I had some more pounds on it, I should say, in the past, and I didn't feel great at all, not a single bit about it until they were off. So maybe it's just me projecting. Of course, that could be. I don't even know. But yeah, I stand by my point. I just don't believe that they are truly satisfied with how they look. And it's not just because they're trying to get rid of, what do they call it? These role models or whatever in society, how they're put up, how you should look like as a man or a woman. Yeah, I mean, much of this is also very skewed. Obviously, I think this is also one of the sins in the movie, right? Wasn't it? About this model. Which one was it?
Yeah, it was like the.
Was it Pride? I think.
Yeah. Where she had some kind of card in her hands. What was it? Yeah. It was.
Yeah, here it is. A model whose face had been mutilated by Doe. Yeah, and this was representing Pride because she was just. Yeah, this is what he said. She was internally so ugly she had to make her externally very beautiful. Something like that.
Wait, wasn't it Lust?
No, that was the whore, as he said, spreading these diseases.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The S&M thing there.
By the way,
was an S&M leather shop now. Yeah.
This scene, how Lust was done, was also fucking insanely good. I don't even know how they came up with that. You know, with that bladed strap on, and that dude had to sort of, which word do I use here? Get into her with these blades. That was like, I mean, this movie was truly crazy. You gotta be honest with that. It was truly tough.
Absolutely,
and that scene was insane.
It is like different than most of the to go to detective stories, you know, like stories like this. We have like 100 movies that go like this, but something is different about Seven. Something makes people want to rate it. I think it's like we got like fucking 8.6, I think, on IMDb, which is fucking good for a movie.
Yeah, it's actually in the top 20.
IMDb. David Fincher, I don't think this guy ever disappoints, and one of his finest works. It definitely, like, you see, here's the thing. I actually talked to this about Dale yesterday when we talked about James Bond. It's been one of those movies which had I had the Godfather syndrome when I was watching it for the first time. I was watching Seven for the first time again. I think I was a stupid teenager. Looking back on that, something was wrong with me as a teenager. Watched all those movies as a teenager, and I just couldn't. I just wasn't interested in them. I remember very good for the first time watching Seven. I was genuinely, like, at the end, I was like bored. I was like, okay, cool. It's like this guy. And same with Godfather. I watched it, and at the end I was like, oh, that's what this movie everybody's talking about. Okay, cool, very boring. And those are the kind of movies. The more often I watch them, the more I admire them for being so paying so much attention to detail. Every time I find something new, it's really, really crazy, man. And Seven is one of those examples.
Yeah, I think it's because at that time you haven't lived enough in society like a teenager and with people to understand fully the deep lessons in these movies, I should say. The same for me. Like, I know a bunch of movies, I cannot recall them off the top of my head right now, but I know a bunch of movies I watched as a teenager which were boring as hell, and now I love them. And think they are very deep and powerful, influential movies, but back then you were like, dude, what the hell's going on? This is also why The Matrix worked so well, because it was actually a philosophy movie for 13-year-olds. Because you had all these action scenes, and then later you can admire the philosophy, and the action scenes are just cool.
It's like, it happens very rarely, but this movie is like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to go from this. It's more than just a crime movie. It's really more. And, like, you know, when you think about Seven, because you were mentioning like all those religious aspects and all this stuff, when I think of Seven, like I said, I think the first thing that pops in my mind is like this gluttony
Victim.
I almost went German there.
Yeah, I
The
noticed.
victim. And yeah, the gluttony victim, and maybe also the what's the one who, like, you think he's dead, but when they approach him,
Oh,
the like, I think this is the greatest jump scare in the history of cinema.
yeah, it is.
These are the moments that pop on into my head when I think about the movie Seven. But it's much more than just a crime movie. So personally, for you, Alex, what does this movie mean to you? Or when you think about it, what does this movie mean to you personally?
I think, I should say, yeah, to me personally, it's just a wake-up call, really, to remind yourself that, yes, you have a free will on this planet and you can do whatever you want, but it doesn't mean you should do everything you want. And regardless of who is the one to judge that, if it's some sort of god or whatever label you want to choose, I don't care. You should do it yourself. You should judge that yourself about your own life. And this is what I do, or did also when I watched it. And now thinking of it again, this week actually, I also thought about it for my own life, where I every now and then maybe have indulged, obviously not that heavy, in some of the cardinal sins. And it's not like, you see, because people usually use this then as some sort of tyrant that is watching over them, and if they make any sort of mistake, they immediately come in hell. That's not the point. That's just this is the same thing I tell people when I tell them to have a set schedule every day. You shouldn't look at it like a tyrant that forces you to be someone. You should look at it as a sort of butler who wants the best for you, you know. And I think it's the same with these hints, or this movie, for example. It's just to give you some thoughts to think about what you do, and where maybe the things you are doing are not really giving you what you want from life, even though maybe that short-term pleasure feels nice, but long-term it's actually not very helpful for you or the people around you. So this is what it does for me. It's this sort of wake-up call every time.
Yeah, that's the beauty about this movie. Like, you can see it from so many different perspectives. You can actually admire it for what it is. It is just a movie. I can admire it for example, for just the acting. You know, I'm just like, I enjoy watching Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt on screen, man. This is a great combination. And of course, Kevin Spacey at the end. At least Morgan Freeman, before he became like a fucking whore and took every movie, every fucking offer there is. He had his golden times in the 90s. That's also like it's really hard. Like when I think about Seven, it's one of those very, very special movies, definitely. One of the darkest movies, best thrillers, definitely I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to David Fincher, I feel like we are doing more movies about him, like in the future. I guess Fight Club has been the only one so far. Let me double check. We've done everything from David Fincher so far, because he does a lot of things right. And I think he does a lot of things which you and I really enjoy seeing in movies. And the thing is, I can't really pinpoint what exactly it is, but he treats his audience with a lot of respect. You know, like even though I don't agree with the philosophy, for example, of Fight Club, it's undoubtedly a great movie on so many levels. But when it comes to Seven, again, there's no one coming up to me and saying, "Hey, this is right, this is wrong." I always feel like in a David Fincher movie, I can make up my own mind. You know, same as with Fight Club. You know, because Fight Club actually allows me to be on two different sides of the coin at the end of the movie. You know, I can either say, "Hey, yeah, Tyler Durden, fucking great guy, I want to be like him," or I can say, "Hey, this movie's actually a mirror to show me how I should not behave." You know, and same thing is even better done, I guess, in Seven. It's like this. It's like a huge philosophical journey which culminates at this climax at the end. And then you're being left with your thoughts. Morgan Freeman's last words, this Ernest Hemingway quote, and then like after David Fincher ass raped you, you just like the end credits roll, and you think, okay, now I'm alone with my thoughts, and I guess this is a sign of good cinema.
Yeah, I remember when the movie was done. I sort of had this feeling, oh, okay, this just ended like that.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought on my first viewing of this movie.
Yeah.
Hence why I was so confused as a teenager, because like, oh, people make like this huge thing about this movie. It just fucking ends. I want to
Yes.
watch. I want to watch Star Wars. This has like a real ending. You know, like what the fuck? Am I stupid? I believe I was a really stupid teenager.
Yeah, I just didn't know better, I would say.
Yeah, same here, man.
Yeah, but that was definitely the feelings I had there. Was like, okay, you really just gonna leave me alone with all these thoughts and emotions there? But that's actually the great thing about it now, in hindsight, and I can really appreciate it right now that, as you said, he respects his audience a lot, and he also asks a lot from them, but in a great way. Like, it's not like the Marvel movies where you are virtually given everything on a silver platter. You don't even have to think. Like in this movie, you are faced with a tough moral and societal decision. I mean, you don't have to do it, but you just have to think about it. You just have to, and you just can't not think about it.
It actually also, you can already see it at when you watch like this, when Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman arrive at this like murder scenes. It is never like. Especially, I think it was the first victim, the gluttony victim, where they arrive there and you don't know what's happening, right? When you watch the movie for the first time, it's like, okay, this is like a detective story. It's not explained like, for example, it's like not spoon fed to you. It's like, oh yeah, so here's what happened. There was this guy and he was like tied up to a chair and he ate so much spaghetti until he fucking blew up and died, right? It's not being explained to us, it's being shown to us.
Yes.
No one ever says this. We connect the images in our head, which makes it even more creepy. We've being shown like those empty cans of spaghetti. We've being shown his arms tied up, and his legs. We're being shown on his head. There's like a little. I have no idea how you call it in English. When you push a gun towards a head. You know, there's like you can still see like a little bit of the gun on the head, like someone has been pushing him, which is an indicator for, okay, he was being forced to do something.
Yes.
This is all cinematography. It's just being shown like those kind of little shots, and we can connect the things in our head. I fucking love David Fincher for that, man. It
is also a general statement that's brought up in. Like whenever you write novels, for example, it's always, I don't know the exact term, but it's pretty much like don't explain it, show it.
It's show, don't tell, yeah.
Yeah, show, don't tell. Thank you. That was the term I was searching for. Yeah, show, don't tell. And he did this fantastically great in this movie. I think it also works, or is necessary for movies. And this is also, Cinema Sins, right? Great channel. And he always makes fun of if you're getting this exposition like directly in your face, like explaining what's happening, like directly, because they cannot make it or do it with like images.
I don't know why I keep thinking about fucking Suicide Squad, man. We talked about Seven. I keep thinking about this, but yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is Katana. She's doing this and that, and now we get this fucking exposition card, flashbacks. Oh, this character is doing ABC, you know. And then I know everything about this character. What kind of fucking mystery is there left? It's a stupid and bad example, but it proves my point. And in a movie like Seven, like a well-written movie, nothing is being spoon-fed to you, and that's what I like about David Fincher. He's not like this pretentious intellectual director who is doing like everything, who's not even using dialogue, you know, this kind of fucking French indie director level of stupidity. But he's not insulting the audience and the intelligence of the audience. He maintains a balance, and you can't get better than this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also great you brought up Suicide Squad there, because it's, if you think about it, I think I saw this once. It's actually the first hour of the movie is just exposition. And like you have to virtually read it on the screen. I'm like, dude, am I reading a book or am I watching a movie? Because that's just like It's very, very, very badly made, this movie. So yeah, I guess we should roast it at some point.
I'm looking forward to that already, man.
Yeah, but yes, it was truly very well made in Seven, and I think it's because you just see in some movies when the director or whoever wrote the script actually wanted to make a statement and took his time to do so. You can just tell because every scene is like done with like a really great attention to detail, and I guess he really thought about how he can portray these scenes, like with all the character scenes, how they died. He really thought about how he can portray it without saying too much, but it's still getting the point across.
Yeah,
and you can just tell that it worked because it's so well set up. Yeah,
definitely. It's and yeah, you said, and again, this is something I can take out of context. You said, yeah, those kind of movies wouldn't be made nowadays for many reasons. For example, also like from a writing standpoint.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's just very, very. Those kind of movies are very rare.
As we mentioned in the Shawshank Redemption stream, that if you look at the IMDb top, 250 movies, the top, was it 20 or 30 movies are the best 11 years old, being Inception, I think.
Yes, correctly.
In top
and
20.
I think The Dark Knight as well, but that's the same kind of.
Oh yeah, The Dark
age,
Knight. Yeah, right. Before that, or I should say after that, nothing even closely or remotely came close to the quality of the movies back then, which is truly kind of crazy. But also, seeing this makes a lot of sense if you look at the movies these days. I mean, you had a great stream about this yesterday.
Oh, well, it was like, I'm still recovering from that one, man. Excellent episode, definitely. There's so much to praise about this movie. Also, it's something I rarely talk about this on stream, but especially the style in this movie. Like, we have like this constant rain and urban decay. It's really, really beautiful. We have some kind of city. I don't even know what kind of city we are, because there's like it's supposed to be a desert like 30 minutes away from the city, so it's probably not New York. Excellently done.
Yes.
Excellently done.
And now that you say this, it sort of reminded me of The Matrix, when you could also see, because it always had this sort of green tint, right? Representing The Matrix. And this movie sort of has this darkness portrayed in just all the regular scenes, and just because it's raining virtually all the time, even though there's some sort of desert, which is kind of interesting. So it doesn't necessarily make sense, but it gets the point across that this is displaying the dark side of humans there in this city. Yeah, it's these details, these small details that make a great movie, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And yeah, you see, the reason also why this whole twist at the end works so well is because, again, this is something that doesn't happen nowadays. The movie takes time to like establish every character so much, especially the relationship between Mills and Somerset, but also the relationship between Mills and his wife. There's this scene, like when I was first watching it, this is like the kind of scenes where, as a teenager, I fucking went to sleep, man. I just didn't want to see it, man. Like the fucking dinner scene, and like, show me more like ugly deaths, That's why I'm here. It's very weird, but now I'm watching those scenes and I'm really intrigued. It's this scene where Mills' wife Tracy, she actually invites Somerset over for dinner. And while they're all eating, like this train passes by on the track nearby, making the building tremble. It's so beautiful, like all those little details. And Tracy goes to bed, and then Mills and Somerset examine case evidence from the two scenes. It's movies don't take time for this shit anymore, man.
Yeah, that's the reason why you don't really feel for these characters.
Yeah,
because I totally agree with you. When I watched it, I mean, it isn't even that long that I watched it, but it still was like, okay, it's now, what's going on now? Why do I now get introduced to this wife of his? And immediately I thought, okay, there must be something to that. And like, now I understand it, and also like being introduced to her and seeing the relationship a bit better. But back then, If I would have watched it earlier, I would have definitely thought like, okay, what's this stupid dinner scene? I don't care.
Yeah.
Get it over with. But it was necessary, actually, very necessary. And as you always say, and I truly like this term, it gave the movie time to breathe as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you had a different scenario once outside of all the murdering and all the killings. You saw Mills and his wife, and she's also pregnant, right? And having this issue with telling him because she doesn't want to in the first place. Which all makes it, so she has a certain character, she's sort of afraid to say these things, doesn't really know what to do, and so she has a character, it's not just a bland NPC in the movie.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like I really don't like Gwyneth Paltrow. I have a problem with her. I don't know why. Like, really, there are many female actors. I have no problem. I'm watching them. I enjoy them acting and playing and all that. But I don't know why. Just can't stand her. But
is it a certain movie she made, or what's going on?
Maybe it's because of her vagina candles. I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, like right. Yeah, that's it. I guess.
She definitely don't look up like interviews with her. She completely went nuts. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this person. She talks all kinds of bullshit in interviews. Like,
I guess Hollywood happened.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's just, sooner or later, you see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow is Batman. Confirmed. But yeah, even though I can't stand her like as a person and as an actress, she does her job very well. What I mean by I'm watching her interact with Mills. I'm watching her interact with Somerset. It just feels like a real human being. It doesn't feel like an artificial human being. She's still like a woman. Like they two engage with each other. They have this very, very warm moment where Tracy calls Somerset one evening and she requested he meet with her. And Somerset meets Tracy like in this dinner. And then she tells him how miserable she is in the city and all this stuff. And then Tracy reveals the truth of her request to meet. She's pregnant and afraid of raising a child where they now live, and afraid of telling Mills. And Somerset advises her to tell her husband only if she decides to have it. And he sets himself as an example. He insisted his partner have an abortion. That he finally convinced her, and now he's remorseful. Which also gives us like this whole scene. Many people would say, okay, this is like just a time filler, but this is absolutely important and crucial for the movie.
Yes.
Also gives us like this gives like the ending quote, because at the end he quotes like Hemingway, and this world is like a beautiful place and it's worth fighting for and all this stuff. I always bear in mind he has been responsible for this and that, and he probably killed people, and that's why this ending quote makes it hits so hard. We get so much like backstory and all that, and Somerset obviously has inner demons that haunt him. We have those long scenes where he has like this metronome. I believe it's called metronome in his room.
Oh right. Yeah.
He has sleeping problems and all that, and he's a very pessimistic person, trying to make sense of all of this, and yeah.
What I like is that he's a true person, like a real character, like a real human. He has flaws and he has issues, and obviously he doesn't want to talk about them too much. Like nobody really does ever. But you get sometimes you get some exposition, but not in a Suicide Squad way. You get I gotta come back to this. No, but you get sort of glimpses of his character, and that he also has a dark side, which he is, I guess, afraid of to some degree, but he's also aware of it. And it also gives a great depth to his character, because we don't know exactly who he truly is, but he can make up ideas. Like maybe he tries to be a cop to actually make up for what he did, or be a good cop or whatever. It's just an idea I'm just having. Maybe it's not what he is or what he was intended to be, but it's open, it gives you an idea of what he could be, issues he could have or whatever. So he's a real human, and you can really think about that character.
Yeah, like I said, the relationship between him and Mills, it bounces off each other so well, because they're
Yeah.
like, one of them is naive and young, and he's like he's like new to this whole thing, and like Somerset is like trying to calm him down always, and they make for great dialogue in this whole thing. It's just beautiful. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite scene? And I believe when I say favorite scene, it's probably like a favorite victim. as sick,
murder.
yeah, as sick as it sounds. Like, what's your favorite way to die? Right, like stuff like that. But do you have like a favorite scene? It could be, of course, something else as well. But yeah, do you have
Yeah, it's
something?
actually not. Well,
I mean, of course, I have to think about what's in the box. You know, it's
Yeah,
obviously
yeah, of course.
that's
Yeah.
Seven. It's brilliant acting there at the end, isn't it? Like, by Brad
It
Pitt.
is.
I just you see so many emotions kicking in, and then this little flashback, kind of split second where he sees Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's like, okay, I'll fuck this guy up. It's
Yeah, gotta admit, he actually played this very well. You see a lot of emotions just on his face and how he acts there. It's very well done, yeah. But actually, I don't think that one of the murders is one of my favorite scenes. I do think it's the car scene at the end when he.
so where he's in
John-
he's in the back seat of the car, right?
Yes, exactly, in the backseat of the car, and like because these three actors there and these characters bouncing back and forth each other, it's just truly cinema greatness there, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
What's
it's,
yours?
I would say like the last five. I mean, it's not basically the last 5 minutes, of course, but yeah, I have two favorite scenes. First of all, this like insane jump scare, which I never.
Oh yeah.
I used to never watch this, like this scene is on YouTube, and I never watched this scene like with headphones until I. Right now, I know the exact time code where the jump scare happened. But I remember for the first time watching this, oh shit, this wasn't like just goosebumps. I was really, I think my back actually hurt because
Yeah.
I was so shocked. You just don't see it coming. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I didn't expect this at all in this movie. To be
Yeah,
honest.
suddenly
Like,
this
not at
guy
all.
coughs or like breathes very hardly, and it's like, what the fuck, man? After that, of course, like I just can't ignore the last 5 minutes where
Yeah.
they read the outskirts, and the moment where this guy comes up and says, "Hey, someone paid me $500 to deliver a box to Mills at this place. It's exactly 7 o'clock." And then Somerset opens the box, and you could just see the horror on his face.
Yes.
And he races back to Mills and desperately yells for him to throw his gun away. And at this point, like, that's actually like the thing I wouldn't have though to say if I could change something, because he actually explains to him, it's like, yeah, her pretty head is in there. I took a souvenir with me, a pretty head. It's self-explanatory what's in there. You don't have to
Yeah,
say
you're
it.
right.
I mean, at the end, he's trying to push him over the edge. He says, yeah, she begged for her life and for the life of her unborn child and all this stuff. Yeah. Holy shit, man.
But do you also remember the scene that John Doe in that situation actually like is surprised but also smiles or whatever when he realizes that Mills didn't know that she was pregnant? That was also very greatly played.
I didn't know. I didn't recognize that. No.
Yeah, maybe you need to rewatch it because there is some. I think it's just a sort of smirk, but he's also surprised by it because he didn't know. He thought that Mills knows that his wife was pregnant, so this was even like this, the cake, you know, the cherry on top for John Doe there.
Also, so yeah, he says that Tracy was pregnant. She begged to be kept alive for the child's sake, and Miles is like so devastated that he shoots Doe in the head, and Doe is closing his eyes to receive his punishment, and then Mills shoots 5 more times. I guess it's like a callback to like 5 murderers or stuff like that. Yeah, you can actually see like there's only 7 shots in this movie. like I'm serious. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Just like the
I wonder if
title.
it's intentional because of the number.
I can't think that it's not intentional. It's
Yeah.
David Fincher is like that kind of motherfucker who does this kind
Yes.
of shit. Yeah, it's
Yeah, he probably thought, wouldn't it be cool if it's just 7 shots in this movie?
absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. and yeah, he completes those masterpiece, if you may say. Yeah. Also, like yeah. Hard to.
Yeah, at first I didn't actually, because at that point when the last scene starts, it was 5 cardinal sins at that point, right? And the last is obviously John Doe himself. I say obviously because it didn't occur to me at first that he is the envy, because he's envious of Mill's life with Tracy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he said it in the movie, but it didn't occur to me at first. And then Mills killing him is obviously wrath.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like. I guess this should have been a little bit more prepared, because like when he says I'm envious of your life, I was really confused. Like, okay, who the fuck are you, right?
Yeah, this was something. This is why I bring it up, because it was a bit weird to me as well, because it seemed that John Doe very much enjoyed his life, being the martyr, actually doing this whole thing and telling people about it and sort of setting the society right, which is pretty much his crusade, right?
Right.
So it seemed that he actually truly enjoyed that, but maybe he didn't, and it just didn't come across. And he actually hated doing it, but it was necessary, and he actually would have liked to have a life with a wife or whatever.
Right.
But it was sort of, it seemed a bit rushed to bring envy in there. But then again, I mean, it can't be everything perfect, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess given the context, this was like a perfect ending, because this makes like this whole twist. And I believe my favorite quote is when Somerset opens the box and he's contacting the helicopter who's doing like circles above them, and he says, "Stop it! Like John Doe has the upper hand." It's like him. Like normally everybody would panic. It's like, oh fucking shit! There's like a hat in this box, and he goes like, he knew from the moment he saw that hat in the box that the game is over.
Yes,
they are fucked because because like, oh my god. So.
Yeah, I think he also knew. I truly think he knew that Mills would kill him. He tried his best to stop it, but he just like, how do you, especially a guy like Mills, and he knew him at that point, that he's just also like very impulsive. Like, how do you stop him from killing that man who just killed his wife, who has his unborn child? Like, how do you, like, I mean, there's just no way. But yeah, he was so. It was also, Morgan Freeman has some great characters, man.
Absolutely. I mean, he used to have. I still.
I used to have. Yeah, I should say that.
It's really, like, you know, when you look for this movie like on IMDb or whatever, and of course, like the genre is like some crime thriller stuff, but for me personally, I'd say Seven is very much an ultimate horror film.
Yeah, it is. I think so.
Like, it's like, the question is there like anything more scary than a serial killer who is infinitely smarter than the cops chasing him? Because like at the end when he's coming on to the police precinct, and it's like, detective, it's like screaming really loud, and you just know and it's also what Morgan Freeman said. I think he said he's not here without a reason. He has like some kind of plan. Which kind of reminds me a little bit of what Nolan did a few years later with The Dark Knight. Same shit with Joker, right?
Thank you. I was just thinking of Joker there. The real Joker.
Yeah. Again, we have like someone who is smarter than the cops, and whereas I wouldn't necessarily see that Joker, Heath Ledger Joker, is like someone I'm afraid of, or someone I would say, this is horror. Seven, or in that case John Doe, this is actually creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Because absolutely. There could be some guy out there. There could actually be some guy out there,
Yeah, and I think the reason is, like the Joker in The Dark Knight, he cares about criminals and all this kind of stuff. You know, he doesn't really care about the regular person. But John Doe, he really is looking at you there, and me and everyone, you know, and thinking that we all do indulge in these things. And so, there could be a guy like that out there, definitely. And so I agree, it's definitely it's actually a horror movie, I would say so. And not necessarily with the gore, although there is a lot of it, but not a lot, but there is some of it. But just how the movie unfolds and how it is portrayed, this whole dark, creepy horror theme, actually, I should say. So I do think so.
Yeah, also like, because and I think this is a good rule when it comes to horror movies itself. I know we just said show, don't tell, but I think when it comes to horror, it's like don't show, don't tell.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Because like seeing all those things, and for example, like one line from Morgan Freeman again really gives me like the goosebumps when Somerset says that John Doe is like very methodical and patient in that sense of like it took like 1 year to kill a person. Imagine what kind of fucked up person John Doe is.
Yeah, not just that it took 1 year, but also he took a photograph every day, right? To see the decay of the person. I mean, like what the hell, dude?
Yeah. And this is where horror creeps in, because that's the moment where we start coming up with images in our mind.
Yes.
And I don't want to have those images in my mind, actually. But
yeah, because you don't know for how long he may have been plotting things already in the background. You just don't know.
Yeah. And this is where like the real horror comes in, where you're like, is someone watching me out there? You know, this is really, really not a movie for everyone. Yeah, definitely. Like look, I watched like fucking horror movies, like fucking Demons, and all this shit, like fucking Insidious or whatever those James Wan movies are, like fucking puppets speaking. This is true. This is true horror for me. Watching stuff like that.
Yeah, same. I think these sort of gory, like ghost kind of shit horror movies are pretty boring to me, because I mean, even if you believe in that, it's still you just know he's using some puppets to make this kind of jump scare thing. You just know is happening anyway. But this movie that actually goes deep into humanity and what humans do, you know, and society itself, and then you have this completely evil genius who has no remorse whatsoever, villain. That's really powerful.
Absolutely, See, the thing that comes up to my mind now is we have like this fucked up ending, and with each viewing, something changes within me. Like the first time I told you I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, it ended. Time to watch Star Wars again or whatever, right? And the more often I watch this movie, the more I appreciate it. Yes. And it's a repeating wave of emotions that come there, but I also feel like new emotions every time I watch it. And which is also a nice thing, we have like a reversed end credits roll, and it's hard for me to nail it down. Like disbelief, alienated. I feel a little bit sad. I feel a little bit empty. I wouldn't say shocked. I mean, still a little bit in awe. What about you? What do you feel when you see the end credits roll? What kind of emotions go through you?
Yeah, I would say it's similar. It's some sort of almost a little bit creeped out by how it's portrayed, everything in this whole movie, and also the end credits. But yeah, it's just a very touching movie, but like in a tough way, in a heavy way. Yeah. It goes really deep into your soul and questioning things there.
Absolutely.
You know? And this is also what I liked about it, but it's also what makes it tough to watch for many, I would say. So, it's the people.
It's very grim and disturbing, but you just can't stop watching.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, like if you have trouble with blood, gore, or disturbing subject matter, I think stay away from this movie. But if you can handle that, watch this one. The question is just, do you find it like depressing? Because I would say I kind of find it depressing, especially at the end. You're being left alone. You feel very alone at the end.
Oh, I get what you mean. Because I wasn't necessarily feeling depression there, or something like that. But you are, as you said, you are being left alone. You feel lonely there because you are completely alone with these tough thoughts. It's like someone just slapped it on the table and now you have to deal with it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, thank you. I didn't ask for this, but okay, I guess I'm going to go through these emotions now. Mm-hmm. It's definitely very tough. So this is also why I said it was quite surprising to me that the movie just ended at that point. It was finished. I was like, wait, I wanted to get I wanted to have more input on how this works.
Yeah, but I guess this is intentional. Like you used to feel like really, you're supposed to feel fucked up. This is like the magic of this whole thing. because the villain won at the end, and this is how you feel. This is how you feel when you lose.
Yes, exactly.
You don't get the dopamine rush. You don't get the reward at the end. This is what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not also that he. I think what makes it also even more tough is that in some senses you actually agree with the villain, right? As we mentioned before. Mm-hmm. So like you're not rooting for him, of course, but that he won is obviously bad. But also, he had a point, but he just went too far, and so you. Yeah, I mean, there's so many emotions there.
I mean, the problem is, first of all, you're being introduced to Somerset and Mills. And you, over the course of the movie, you kind of grow onto them. You know, you start to like them more and more. They get more personal to you. You learn about their family life, about their backstory, and you see them like working together in a better way, and trying to figure out this fucking case. And then at the end, you find out, well, I kind of also like this person who killed Brad Pitt's pregnant wife. You know,
yes,
of course, you're completely. Like, why do I agree with him, even though he did so many things wrong? It's, yeah. This is a movie that stays with you afterwards. This is, it's not just a movie you turn it off and say, oh, okay, time to get to work tomorrow again.
Yeah. I also just, because I was reading Wikipedia next to this, and I saw that the head in the box scene actually was debated to be not in the movie.
I heard that as well. Yeah. I was like, okay, we fucking cut out the whole movie then, right?
Yes, exactly.
Crazy, yeah.
And it's funny because actually actor Brad Pitt himself said he will only stay in the movie and do it if the scene stays in the movie. Mm-hmm. That's quite interesting because Brad Pitt sort of saved it. Because, as you said, without that scene, I don't think it would have worked as well. I mean, how do you end the movie then? That's kind of weird, because it's really the climax, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say, I know this is like super intellectual bullshit for me, but I would say it's the anti-climax.
Yeah, you're right.
It's basically, at the end, this is what happens. Like in movies, you have the hero. In that case, you have two heroes, and at the end, they have like this little duel with the villain, and it's perfectly set up. Everything is right, but it's fucking it's fucking anticlimactic, especially the outcome.
It is, but then again, I truly enjoyed that it was set up that way, and the movie ended like this. Much like it's not the same, but similar. When at the end of Inception, you don't actually see the spinning thingy fall over, so you don't know if he's still in the dream or not. You intentionally are left with this decision for yourself to decide if it's true or not, or whatever. So it's similar here, just that it goes deeper. You are intentionally left alone with your thoughts about this, and I actually like this because the director didn't take a stance and decide for his audience what is the correct or not correct way. He said, okay, you guys decide what you like about this or not. It's just, this is what happens, and you see if you like it or not. And this is truly, as you said, he really likes his audience, I guess, and truly wants them to feel and ponder about things. And this is what I like about these movies.
Some very interesting piece of trivia is that David Fincher himself, he told Kevin Spacey and Brad Pitt, this is a very interesting piece of trivia. He said he told them before the movie actually came out on cinemas, this is not going to be the movie that you're going to be remembered for, but it may be a movie you're incredibly proud of. And you know what's funny? And you know what's funny? He's true until this day. When I think Brad Pitt, I don't think Seven. And when I think Kevin Spacey, I also don't think Seven. I think other things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. How the hell did he know that?
David Fincher is a fucking genius, man.
He is, man.
Oh my god.
Because this is what he said there is very on point.
Yeah.
It is a movie that...
And the question is why? Why do you think that is? Like, it's... Like for example, there are movies which we talked about this, and again, we're going back to David Fincher. We talked about this like in the Fight Club stream. There are movies which are being purposefully promoted nowadays for whatever reason. Who knows, right? But no one talks about Seven anymore, even though it's like this I mean, when I say no one talks about Seven, of course there's still people talking about, but I'm not like they're not talking about this like people still talk about Star Wars, you know.
Yeah.
Seven is like people start to forget about this movie, and the question is why.
Maybe they don't want to remember it because it goes too deep.
Yeah,
They want entertainment.
Yeah, there are like movies where, if, for example, and when I watch Schindler's List, it's again like a stupid example. But this is not a movie where I'm like, oh yeah, next week I'm gonna rewatch it. Schindler's List is really like, okay, I've watched it now. I don't want to watch this movie for a very long time. But when it comes to Seven, for example, I have no problem saying, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna rewatch it again just to like, try to see if I can find some more details there. It's not like a movie where it makes me genuinely feel like, sure, it makes you feel uncomfortable, but not in the sense of I never want to see this movie again. So,
yes, that is the crazy thing because
it's like a car accident. It's like a car accident. You have to watch it and you have to see it.
Yeah, it's like this very very tough, almost horror or really horror thing, but you still want to watch it. Like, how are you so crazy? Crazy humans here. I also didn't know that he made The Social Network. I did not know that.
Oh yeah,
I just saw it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you're like on Wikipedia right now, but
I am.
I believe up until this day, David Fincher hasn't made a single bad movie, and I don't think I can say that about any other director living now.
That is true. I don't know all of them. For example, Zodiac. I've never heard of that.
But if you have enjoyed Seven, you might actually enjoy Zodiac. Yeah.
Okay,
Also very
I'll check it out.
I have to warn you, it's a very climactic ending as well.
Okay.
But I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's doing a great job there. Good acting. And again,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a crime stuff. Pretty good stuff. Not as good as Seven, but yeah, check it out definitely.
But if you look at the movies, you're right. I don't see a bad one there. And Panic Room was also a great movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, he did Panic Room. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
my favorite from him, I believe, is The Game. I don't know if you have seen it. With Michael Douglas. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, right. Oh, did I see that? Damn. I don't think so.
In case you haven't, I'm not going to tell you what it's all about because that kind of gives away what the movie is. So I'm not going to,
I think I have to go on a journey with David Fincher and watch a bunch of his movies.
I wish I could still watch a David Fincher movie for the first time, but I fucking saw everyone. Also, A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo.
Oh yeah, right.
It has a very stupid translation in Germany. Yeah, it's.
I'm sure it has.
Also this one, extremely well done. Whatever David Fincher touches, it turns to gold.
Dude, every time I open a Wikipedia movie page these days, it says it's a neo-noir thriller.
Everything is a fucking neo-noir thriller nowadays, man. Star Wars has become a neo-noir thriller, man.
What the hell is going on with that shit? Like, dude, I don't think that every movie is neo-noir.
Well, I gotta say, in case of David Fincher, he probably deserves that title. But yeah,
in his case,
fucking everything is a neo-noir thriller now, which doesn't deserve the title at all.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting piece. Interesting piece of trivia as well. Denzel Washington was he turned down the part that went to Brad Pitt, and he said the film was too dark and evil. And the funny thing is, Washington later regretted his decision upon seeing a screen. It's like it reminded me a little bit of Will Smith and Matrix, but fucking glad he did.
Yes. I was gonna say Will Smith as Neo would have been fucking weird.
Jesus, man. Yeah. Oh my god,
oh damn! I didn't know that in Zodiac is half the cast of the Marvel movies, like Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr. I didn't know that, and Jake Gyllenhaal as well.
Yeah,
didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, definitely check these out. Man.
Definitely check it out, man. It's awesome. Well, check out The Game as well, and in case you haven't seen it, The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo as well. It's all fucking great. Another piece of interesting trivia. The filmmakers decided it should always be raining for two reasons. First of all, it added this sense of dread which is pretty nice detail. And second of all, they never had to worry about bad weather.
Well,
like so production, it's absolutely insane. Like to see all this stuff. Oh my god. Also, you remember in the first scene, like the gluttony scene.
yes.
There are like a lot of cockroaches walking around on set. I don't know about you. I always have problems seeing shit like that in the movie. And and there's like this actor who's playing like this dead man, and actually something had to be put in this actor's ears and nose to stop the cockroaches from crawling in. Like, but it didn't stop them from crawling into his underwear. And I'm like, oh my god, man. This fucking movie. It's.
You see, at that point, you can hardly argue that some of these actors actually deserve their paycheck. I mean,
Yeah.
if you lay down there and cockroaches crawling up your underpants, I don't think most people would do that. So take these millions. It's fine, man. It's some crazy shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Brad Pitt. It was kind of. He was also like becoming a very cheesy actor, a very like I'd say like a very romantic kind of guy. Same way Leonardo DiCaprio started off at the beginning with Titanic and Romeo and Juliet and all this stuff.
Right.
And this is actually what I think got Brad Pitt back in the game. But back in the game, I mean, started the game. He escaped the cheese with that one, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I mean, he did a lot of movies, like a lot. But before that, before Seven, there's really nothing actually ever saw. Interesting. Okay, that's weird, dude. And also, these covers look really shitty. Yeah, he definitely was some sort of romantic kind of dude for these kind of movies. Yeah, Fight Club. Then okay, Snatch.
Yeah, and I think
Ocean's 11, of course. Yeah, right. Troy. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. Yeah, he definitely did a great movie. Oh, The Departed. We got to do this at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We haven't got to some Scorsese movies so far.
Yes.
We have to Departed. I want to do Wolf of Wall Street and all. So I put it on a fucking list, man, in case I forget about it, man. This is absolutely Red Smoke to be done. Let me do this like the Departed. Let me do Wolf of Wall Street. We have to do all this stuff, man. It's important.
Scorsese is also a genius, man. Even though the newer movies are just way too long.
I guess it ended for me with Wolf of Wall Street in 2013 because afterwards we had like this very weird religious movie called Silence. Then we proceed with Irishman, and it's all just I don't know what to do with this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. I truly I can't say enjoyed, but Shutter Island was also great.
Oh yeah, sure. It's
I mean, I say not enjoyed because it was tough. It was actually also a very crazy movie, but I truly enjoyed it in the sense of that it was a great movie. Yeah. Gangs of New York. Yeah, right. Then we had some great movies.
Oh my god, Gangs of New York, man! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. Before Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt were cast, I told you already. Denzel Washington should be like the younger guy. He should take Brad Pitt's role, and actually Al Pacino should be Somerset.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh my god! Like, I would have loved to see that version. I mean, Freeman and Brad Pitt, they both did like a fucking great job, but now I want to see that version.
Can we have a remake with these two actors?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, right now Al Pacino just looks like a crazy old woman, man. It just doesn't work out anymore. Right. But I would like to see. I'd like to see a hoo-ha version of fucking Seven. Ooh, Al Pacino and Denzel Washington. I would have killed to see those two guys in a movie. Holy shit! Fuck.
That's insane.
Yeah, now this feels like a ruined orgasm for me now. Man, fuck this shit, man.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's weird? We said it before, but now I really want to watch Seven. Even though it's a crazy horror movie, but I really want to watch it again.
Same here. Same here. Sometimes we talk about movies, especially when we talk about bad movies. For example, Joker, which just reminds me this is a movie I'm never gonna watch again.
Yes.
But especially when we talk about movies like Seven, it actually makes me hungry for the movie. The more we talk about, because we talk about the scenes, like at least I'm gonna watch the ending scene on YouTube, and I'm really gonna enjoy it.
It's funny you should say that because I have it open in the background. I'm just gonna watch it right after this.
Shit. Oh my god.
It's such a great movie, even though it's so creepy and crazy. But it's so well made. This is what we love about cinema, right? This is why we go watch movies. It's just art. Just great.
And did you know that in Orthodox Christianity, there's an eighth deadly sin. It's despair.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
What is your take on that? Like hopelessness, despair, I guess distress is what you can call it. Would you consider it as one of those? We don't say deadly sins, but would you say this actually appears to this kind of like categories there?
Well, I mean, we talked a lot about hope last week, right?
Oh yeah.
So by this stance, by which I will stand as well, I don't think this is really cardinal sin, because hope is generally misinterpreted by most people, or misused, I should say. I mean, of course, despair is not very helpful for a human, like just losing hope for everything. And I guess in most cases it also has a bad outcome then in what you do, like for example committing suicide or whatever, if it goes really bad. But yeah, I don't know if that really is cardinal sin then. I mean, is it really a sin? It's just something you feel. It's not something you do, right? Weird. I don't know what to say about this.
Oh my god, you don't wanna know what I just found out. You remember I said like Al Pacino, Denzel Washington, fucking great combination, right?
Yeah.
So there were also like two other guys who were considered for the roles of of David Mills. First one is Kevin Costner, which I'm like, yeah, okay, kind of can see it.
Well, yeah.
And motherfucking Nicolas Cage again. It's like, you remember we talked about it's like in Shawshank, Shawshank with Nicolas Cage. Like, I love this movie, but I want to see that version as well in some kind of parallel universe. I think I just want to have like a parallel universe where Nicolas Cage is in every major movie that came out in the last 20-30 years. I just want to see like the Nicolas Cage cut. Nicolas Cage.
Nice. Nicolas Cage works as well. Yeah.
Dude, I think I had too much Red Smoke this week. I'm crossing 6 hours of Red Smoke now, and it shows. At Nicolas Cage, man. I really want to see like this alternative universe. Fucking.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already in all movies. Just at least initially cast for them, but then didn't make it. But because apparently every movie had him as a cast idea, but it didn't happen then. But it's weird because Nicolas Cage for me is the kind of actor who cannot play a dark movie.
Yeah, I guess with an exception.
Which is
8mm. I guess this is what it's called in English. Let me double check.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Called? Yeah, 8mm. But yeah.
Know which movie I was thinking about?
Don't say Ghost Rider.
Yes, Ghost Rider.
No, fuck. Dude, do you know sometimes a movie is like even too bad to do a roast on it?
Yes.
Like I would probably pass out us doing a stream on that. Oh my god, fucking Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage.
Did it have also a second movie with that? Wasn't there a Ghost Rider 2?
I hope. Oh my god, there's a second movie. I didn't know that. Dude,
I might have watched that back in the days.
We have to watch. We're gonna fucking watch it. I don't care. I'm gonna make you watch it. I'm gonna make you watch it. Right, okay. So first movie called Ghost Rider from the year 2007. Everything is good. Everything is. Oh no, fucking Eva Mendes is in it. You know how much I hate her, right?
Oh, Spirit of Vengeance, right? Yeah, that was it. Oh, God,
Ghost
I remember
Rider
this.
Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah, God damn. I wanna have a third Ghost Rider like Resurrection or some kind of shit like that. They always have like the same kind of titles, man. The Spirit of Resurrection and oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
the criticism being aimed towards the script, CGI, and acting. So virtually everything about the movie, right? Nice. I like
Oh
it.
my god! So if ever we have our schedule open and there's every movie we ever wanted to talk about, we talked about it. Then we're gonna do Ghost Rider double feature.
Yeah, but wait, why do you hate Eva Mendes? I missed that one.
I think the first time we talked about this was in Hitch.
Oh, right.
It's the same case with Gwyneth Paltrow. There is something about her that I can't stand, and I can't explain why. I don't know, man. There's so many female actors. I don't have any problems watching them. But what the fuck? There's something about Eva Mendes I really, really, really hate. And I think I hate her even more than Gwyneth Paltrow, even though she didn't do any vagina candles. But, it's a tough one, man.
You know what's interesting? Because I only ever saw Eva Mendes the first time in Too Fast, Too Furious. And I think this was also sort of her breakthrough, if you can call it that. And this was really only because of the bikini scene. I mean, let's be honest here. Because she just can't act very well. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Hitch came later. There was also this movie. Oh yeah, The Spirit. You know, it's obviously a neo-noir superhero film.
Of course it is. Holy shit, man.
It was actually done by Frank Miller.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't good.
Oh, back in the days where Samuel L. Jackson was playing like in every movie.
Yes.
Good old times, man.
There was also, what's her name? Was it even her? The lady that always has her boobs shown.
Probably, yeah.
What's her damn name? I forget. Anyway, I think she was in the movie because The Spirit was really a very, very weird movie. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Eva Mendes, I agree. I don't think she should. Like, she gets cast for some of these movies, but I don't know why.
It's really weird, yeah.
But yeah, Ghost Rider definitely her best performance, I'm sure.
Oscar worthy, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Now, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a watch together party on Red Smoke if we both have the time for it. Like, just
wait, but with which movie then?
Both, man.
Ghost Rider. Oh god.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a 5-hour stream.
No fuck.
Ghost Rider 1 and 2 back to back, and whoever gives in first to I don't know, like fucking loses the challenge, whatever that means.
Oh damn, that's gonna be a tough one for me for sure.
So yeah, 7 to 1995,
right.
Everybody. For some reason, we can't stop talking about Suicide Squad and Ghost Rider. I think this is just us, some kind of Freudian slip, trying to remember us that we missed doing a roast again on Red Smoke.
Yeah.
you know, it's all about balance, man. Sometimes we had so much shit on this show. We have to get back to good movies. Now we talked about so many good movies. We have to get back to shit.
Yeah, I think so. It's
I think we're doing some crazy stuff on around Christmas. Let's take it a little bit easier there again. And this is gonna be good. But yeah, 1995. If this stream has done anything to me, it made me hungry to watch it again.
Yes.
And I probably might have time later to like at least skip through a few scenes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I need to watch it again, man. Absolutely. It's great movie.
It was a pleasure talking to you about this, man. It's I went in, and right at the beginning I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about this? Because again, it is very hard for me to talk about movies who are like this movie is close to perfection, right?
Yes.
So it's really hard for me to say, okay, what I'm going to talk about now for 90, 120 minutes, whatever. And it's interesting. The more we talk about this, the easier it is for me to like come up with new topics. And now I feel a little bit smarter about this, yeah.
Yeah, actually thought the same. Like this morning when I thought that we are gonna do the stream, I was like, can we really fill 90 minutes with this movie? I mean, it's great, a fantastic movie, but what do you talk about, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it's great, like praising it all the time. But there are actually many topics, or were many topics that we talked about, and I truly enjoyed that.
So one last take. I just found something. There's been another actor considered for the role of Somerset, and again, it's it's the same like in fucking Shawshank. Harrison Ford was considered to be the role of Somerset, and I'm a little bit split on that because I kind of think maybe, but
he could have pulled it off, I guess.
Yeah,
because technically why not? But
he can actually play the grumpy old man pretty well. Yes. I don't think he was old enough back in the days, but I can think now he would have played it actually very well. I'm a little bit sad
right now,
I'm a little bit sad I'm not seeing like in movies anymore, but I just think he doesn't want to. He's like sick of Hollywood or something.
Yeah, like in Star Wars, you mean?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah! Give me Harrison Ford and Nicolas Cage, like this guy person.
Yeah, right. That would be nice. I would enjoy that.
Directed by Michael Bay. Like, well, fuck that.
Fuck that. Now you're kidding me. Okay.
Oh god, yeah, we completely ruined this movie now for everyone. We should get off air now. It's been a pleasure again, Alex. Yes. Thank you for hanging out. And we're gonna return next week. We're still gonna do, I think, some good movies, but Christmas is coming.
We have a lot of movies on our list now, don't we?
Absolutely. But Christmas is coming, and you all know what that means. We're gonna talk about Die Hard and all the other family-friendly Christmas movies. It's gonna come soon. Thank you everyone who's listening, and we'll be back next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.